Hi, let us have a high-level understanding of a typical web application environment. Whenever a client making a request to a server, mostly the client will be a web browser. In this case, I am going to look for a resource XYZ from muthuforall.com. So the request will be made with HTTP protocol to the server saying I need XYZ resource. And within the server, I need something, we call that as an application. That application going to generate the response by collecting the data from different databases or a third-party system. Once the response is available in the required format and if it is satisfactory, the application going to send the response back to the client saying, hey, here's where your application is. This is how a typical request and response works. And over a period of time, more and more requirements got evolved. Like I need to maintain the session and I need to have more complicated rendered UI. That's where different technologies started getting evolved. The first thing that got evolved was MVC design pattern. Let's have a quick understanding where we developed a standalone entity called Servlet. Servlet is nothing but a simple Java class where it can be managed by a container. Container is going to control how that particular servlet or a Java file will be behaving based on the request. As well as how that should behave, it can be controlled and managed by the container. More detailed discussion about the servlet, we will be having it later. At this point of time, just assume servlet is nothing but a simple class file will be managed by the container and that's going to get the request and provide the response back. When it is providing the response back, the dynamic content needs to be rendered as per the requirement by the client. For that, JSP, that is Java server pages that got evolved. That will be more easier to render the HTML using the dynamic data. That's where the view will be presented. Any data that is retrieved from the third-party system or enterprise servers needs to be stored as a model. We call that as a data model or Java beans. Again, that is going to be a Java class. So the controller will be using the Java beans to store the data and the data will be presented to the end client as a response using the JSP and the required view will be presented. So the number of components to be managed started getting increased over a period of time. That's where the requirements of different frameworks got evolved. So we started getting frameworks like struts, Apache, struts, which provides MVC pattern. And the other framework, that is Spring MVC. This uses the dependency injection. And of course, yes, we are going to discuss about these frameworks and how to develop applications using these frameworks as well. And as and when the applications or the number of frameworks and the components started getting increased, we need to have a good development environment. That's where the IDEs like Eclipse, Apache NetBeans, IntelliJ, and a lot more IDEs, that is integrated development environment, started getting evolved. So I can use these development environments. We will be using the open source development environment like Eclipse and Apache NetBeans for our demo purpose. Once the application is developed, we need to have a tool to develop that as an application so that it can be deployed into the server. For that, we are going to use tools like Apache and Marvin, Gradle. There are a lot more build tools available. For the demo purpose, we will be using these two tools to build the application as a jar or war file, and that will be deployed into the container that we call it as a servlet container, and we will be doing the demo. So in a high level, we have seen what are all the different tools and how the web applications got evolved and how these tools are interrelated.